welcome you. My name is James. I was an early investor in Tesla, Match Group, the company that owns Tinder, PayPal, Uber. I've been investing for 17 years. I'm a retired multimillionaire, and now my passion for the last 10 years has been teaching people stock investing the safe way in the market, teaching people how to have a mindset of abundance, how to have to be a multimillionaire, how to invest your money the safe, secure way. Unlike every other teacher, I don't teach you potential investment strategies that only the teachers can do or only very specialized people can do. My teachings are buying amazing stocks, big stocks in the stock market for the long term. Rule number 1 by Warren Buffett, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. So our goal is to invest in the stock market in amazing companies, but the right, safe way. Everything you're going to see here, you learn in the Stock Guru Master Course, a merger of technical and fundamental analysis at www.stockguru.us. Hello Stock Gurus, and welcome to another episode. I'm on the beach right now, filming from an island. It's like super beautiful, and I can't really pick up my phone because I don't have the microphone with me, this normal troop. So I'm going to be talking with this phone microphone. So yesterday the market had a big bounce back and recovery, which was very beautiful, especially across the tech sector. This is our watch list of companies. Today we're going to be looking at the Nasdaq, and I'm going to track we're going to try and figure out what's going to happen to the tech market after this bounce back and what it means for the tech market. The notable companies, we sort by change, and we had Ethereum, Dogecoin climbing right now, which is good, 3%, AI up 7%, Uber 4%. Uber really held very strongly during this tech market sector sell-off. So did Intel, and so did Google. I made videos on this today. 2 companies that are better than the US dollar. The 2 companies are Facebook and Google. You need to watch this. Also, Dogecoin still maintaining its price. Ethereum going up and Bitcoin, but Dogecoin, check out after this video, I recommend typing in YouTube Stock Guru or Elon Musk Stock Guru, and a video is going to come up talking about Dogecoin and my theory that Elon Musk is going to use it as one of the networks or the cryptocurrency payment systems that the Tesla fleet and SpaceX is going to work on. It's one of the oldest cryptocurrencies, and it's kind of been tried to be hacked many times, and it's held against that. So it's kind of a secure network over time. So it's got this network effect. Tesla dropping to 597. I will do an updated technicals on Tesla as well before Monday's trading day, and NEO also dropping 2.9%. But it dropped very hard, the tech sector, and had a big recovery by the end of the day. So this is the Nasdaq Composite Index. This is what we've been tracking lately. So this is the Nasdaq over time, monthly candlesticks. Now, as you saw in that little ad video about the course, you're going to learn how to do it all in the course. And anyone that purchases the course by Tuesday, 8 p.m. New York time, goes in the chance to win 1,000 USD. So I think 8th of March, 1,000 USD to someone who purchased Stock Guru Master Course, one of the students. So Nasdaq Composite Index, and in the course you learn how to do this. RSI stochastic squeeze mob indicators, the way these work. When it's above the dotted lines, the RSI and stochastic means this asset or this company or this index, in this case, is overvalued. Below the dotted line is undervalued. Squeeze mob is green. When it's squeezing, it's getting ready for a big explosive movement. It's like building pressure. When it pops up, it's exploding out with that pressure. So here it was squeezing, here the pressure is being released. What you want to buy is obviously right there before the pressure is built, when the stochastic RSI is turning to head up. So right now, they overvalued the Nasdaq, and it's trying to turn to head down. And that's when we had this correction the last month and the last 2 weeks of the trading week. The first thing I see is the overall trend of the Nasdaq. Let's see how it sounds in the wind. I moved because of the strong wind. Hopefully it's not as bad now. I need to get the microphone back. So this is the Nasdaq moving over time, climbing up. This is to put like this recent sell-off in perspective. That was the recent sell-off here. This is the last week of selling pressure. This was 2008 .com crash here. That was the 2008, that's the GFC, global financial crisis. That was the .com crash. So this is the Nasdaq since 1990. This was .com bubble, this was global financial crisis, this was COVID, and this was that recent sell-off we had this week. So the overall trend of the Nasdaq, massively trending up. The overall trend, very strongly trending up. This is the tech sector, the US biggest tech companies. The students really like me tracking this, because then what we're seeing is the movement of the tech sector. So when we had this big sell-off, that was because, and we're kind of still at a very important moment here for the tech sector. This was the tech sector climbing since the COVID pandemic in March. It was climbing on this trend line, and just 3 days ago, it broke this major trend line that it's been on for 1 year. So it's kind of a little bit dangerous when it broke this. it broke out and it started heading down very strongly. But then on Friday's close, we had this really strong wick down and then a big recovery of this kind of support area here. So it held on this support line here very strongly on the 12,400. The target was for it to come down to 1269. But we did have a very strong bounce here, and that's mainly, I think, because people are expecting the stimulus to come in. Or the Fed started to see the ARK fund getting decimated and people panicking in the tech sector. And remember, this entire run up here in the tech sector, this is since the COVID pandemic, it's all manufactured. So this is all pretty much made by the Fed. This run up here is the Fed printing money, buying equities, inflation, and manufactured. So they're purposely keeping it here. When it falls here, they're purposely propping it up because they see these same technicals that we see. So what does it look like it's going to do coming into next week and the next few months, going into March, April, May? So it broke that trend line. What we needed to do is get back above this trend line. It needs to get back up into here. That would be what we really want to have happen. So it needs to get up above 13,197. It needs to close there. If it can get that high and close there, then we're back into this trend line that the Fed has been pushing all year. And the only thing that could really push it up right now, the only thing that could get it in there is this stimulus being passed on Monday's trading day and really just pushing up the market, getting it back into this trend line, getting it back into this manufactured kind of market that they've been having. I'm quite surprised the Fed actually let this break, this trend line. I was expecting them to kind of see this scenario, maybe watch my channel and then kind of pump it when it was coming here because they can see what will happen if this falls. Remember, the reason they're putting up the market, why are they printing this money? Why are they propping up the market like this? Because of COVID, everyone's locked down. They're losing their work, their jobs, the economy. This prepping up the market is propping up the economy. So they're keeping everyone kind of placated. People aren't working, but they're seeing their stock portfolios going up. So they're kind of not rioting, not really panicking because they're seeing this growth in their portfolio. So the Fed is doing this to kind of keep the economy going and keep everyone placated so we don't mass riot, etc., etc. So this is the Nasdaq over time, but always remember that this is the grand scheme of things. When you look at this in perspective, this is the movement and your investment. So here was the dot-com bubble. This is global financial crisis. This is COVID. This is this recent sell-off. So the overall trend massively trending up. So you're investing in the stock market, right? You're buying companies. The stock market is a place for you to buy companies for the long term. So these are the tech companies since 1990. And the tech sector has gone really very strongly since that dot-com bubble. And before the dot-com bubble, the Nasdaq was sitting at 977, now 13,000. So it's gone up 13 times since 2000. Even if you look at it since the the GFC, it crashed down to a low of 1,300, and now it's at 13,000. So it's gone up 10 times since 2009. So it's making around 100% gains or 80% gains per year. But now because of the recent printing, it shot up recently on a parabolic this last year. So they're trying to keep it up here. It's bouncing on this 12,400 support. What we needed to do is do something like this, and what we really want is next trading day, Monday's trading day, get back into the 13,176 and keep its climb with the Fed pumping it using the stimulus. If not, if it comes up to 13,176 on Monday's trading day, bounces off, then we can have a retest of this 12,408 and then even come back to this main trend line at the 11,369. Because if you actually look at the Nasdaq, the main trend line, the actual main trend line is way down here. If you look at the entire history of the Nasdaq, where actually here is the main trend line. It kind of went parabolic when they started propping up the market. It went from 11, where this was before the COVID, it was at 9,300. Then it dropped down to 7,000, and then they started propping it up. And since then, it's gone to 14,000. So they actually propped it up over that's the original trend line. And now it's kind of gone on this parabolic here since they started printing money. And because they're printing another 1.9 trillion, that's a lot of amount of money. If you put that in perspective, in 2008, we had $1 trillion of money supply. Now we have close to $10 trillion of money supply, 10 times US money supply in existence than there was in 2008. So it's really, I am expecting big inflation on this understanding. So stochastic squeeze mob red, but now it's not yet peaked. It's still actually climbing. The squeeze mob getting red. Stochastic and RSI below the dotted lines undervalued. Good times to be buying. Above the dotted lines overvalued. So here was overvalued. Stochastic RSI turning to head down indicates, and squeeze mob going from green turning down, and that was an indicator of this drop. We also had this MA cross recently indicating a drop, just like we had this MA cross in November of last year indicating that big rise, moving average cross. So this important moment, it really held at this 12,400. The stochastic RSI are bottoming and they're turning to head up, indicating we could be continuing on Monday's trading day if they can produce this stimulus, then we can really pop off. First target is 13,176 on the Nasdaq, and then target 2 will be here. This previous resistance that you can kind of see in Stockroom Masterclass will teach you how to, in the description pin comment, will teach you how to draw in these resistance, supports, lines, etc. But that's another resistance. So if Monday's trading day, we try to reclaim this trend line, which we really want using the stimulus. Let me just fix that line. Then target 1 for Monday is 13,176. Target 2 is 13,692. That's target 1, target 2, and that's what we want to have happen. That's the best case scenario, because then we're back in this trend line. It can bounce and it can continue its climb. That's the best case scenario. What we don't want to have happen on Monday's trading day, and you can watch it live on Monday when it's pre-market, is this stochastic on our side to turn back down. If they turn back down and squeeze mob starts going red, then we can reattempt this fall. If we try to come up here, bounce off this 13,176 and come down, then we come down to test this 12,408, and then we come down to test 12,069, and then we come to this main trend line at 11,369. So we really want the opposite. So we're watching it on Monday's trading day to make sure these turn up and keep heading up, and we attempt target 1, 13,176, target 2, 13,692, and that's the most likely scenario. This one I would say is the highest probability because of the stimulus. If they pass the stimulus, if they do not pass the stimulus, if on Monday it comes out that the stimulus is delayed or denied, then we're going to come up, we're going to hit this resistance 13,176, and we're going to re-fall. We're going to break this 12,408 and then come down to this 11,369, and by then our fund and the media and everyone will really be panicking, and the Fed, because Jeremy Powell is doing an excellent job propping up the market, the Fed will step in. So we are very closely monitoring these to make sure they turn up and get back into this trend line. If we get back above this 13,176, it's very, very good news for everyone in the stock market, because this tech sector, also the just overall general market. Now we zoom in closer. So that was 1 year looking at daily candlesticks. Each of these candlesticks is 1 day in the market. Now we zoom in 3 months here, and we see what's going to happen for Monday's trading day. Welcome you. My name is James. I was an early investor in Tesla, Match Group, the company that owns Tinder, PayPal, Uber. I've been investing for 17 years. I'm a retired multimillionaire, and now my passion for the last 10 years has been teaching people stock investing the safe way in the market, teaching people how to have a mindset of abundance, how to have to be a multimillionaire, how to invest your money the safe, secure way. Unlike every other teacher, I don't teach you potential investment strategies that only the teachers can do or only very specialized people can do. My teachings are buying amazing stocks, big stocks in the stock market for the long term. Rule number 1 by Warren Buffett, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. So our goal is to invest in the stock market in amazing companies, but the right, safe way. Everything you're going to see here, you learn in the Stock Guru Master Course, a merger of technical and fundamental analysis at www.stockguru.us. So now we've zoomed in. I'm on a beautiful beach right now. Now we've zoomed in and we're looking on the hourly candlesticks for the Nasdaq Composite Index, hourly candlesticks. And now we can see similar kind of thing. We came down to this 12,408. It broke this trend line. MA crossed here, indicating we were coming down. Opened, came down to 12,408. Stochastic and RSI bottomed. And then we turned to head up on the last few hours of the trading day, the last 4 hours. And we fully recovered that drop that happened from the pre-market on Friday. It dropped to 12,408, and then we nearly completely made the recovery back to 12,917. Squeeze mob is going green now. It's turning to start going green. Stochastic RSI is still midway climbing up with upward pressure, indicating on Monday we are going to reattempt to get back into this trend line. It's not 13,176 actually. It's more like here to get back above the trend line. Will be 13,108, and that's really how we want the market to open. We wanted in pre-market stochastic and RSI to keep climbing up, and we wanted in pre-market to kind of spike up and come into this 1309 and then play around in this and climb like that. It really, very much, we want it to get above this line. If it can get above this line, we save this kind of bull market with the tech sector, and we don't have a lot of short-term pain for people. In the long term, you're buying amazing companies for the next 5 to 10 years at good technical entries, and you're an investor buying amazing companies, so it doesn't really matter. But in the short term, if we want these gains to continue and not have a correction in the market, it needs to get above the Nasdaq, needs to get above 13,098 and start climbing up there and close some candles above this line. If it comes up on Monday's trading day, stochastic RSI, and it hits this 13,098, which it's going to attempt. Looks like on Monday's trading day with the squeeze mob going green, stochastic RSI heading up, we are going to attempt this 12,098, and we'll probably do it in the first few hours of the market. If it gets denied, then it bounces off and comes back to 12,048. The only thing that will keep it up is if they announce the stimulus. We really want the stimulus to be announced at the same moment it arrives here in the first few hours of Monday's trading day, because then that will skyrocket it back in. If not, if it comes up and the stimulus is denied or they don't announce it, we bounce off there, come back to 12,048, and if no stimulus, all the way down to the 11,000, and that's where we're going to keep tracking it. So to keep tracking this, hit the subscribe button, the bell and thumbs up button on your phone so you're notified of these daily videos. I also have a membership section, the join button there. Whoa, the bird just flew straight past my head. You can join the membership section. You can see it there on the YouTube membership next to the subscribe button. You see my live trades as I make them in my portfolio. So that's what I see happening for the NASDAQ. More than likely, Jeremy Powell and everyone is paying attention, especially because ARK Fund erased its 2021 gains. So I believe they're going to pay attention to this, and they're going to really try and announce and prop. And Jeremy Powell's done a good job he manufactured this entire rise. Don't forget this. The last 1 year, this has been a beautifully manufactured recovery and economy, keeping it manufactured rising, so no panic in the markets. So he's doing an amazing job. So they're monitoring this, and they're paying attention to these same trend lines, the same resistance that we're looking at. They're also probably very strongly monitoring this, especially about all the news about the ARK Fund wiping out its gains. They don't want panic at the moment. They're keeping the economy and the markets propped up because of COVID to avoid panic, avoid rioting, and keep everyone placated. So we're going to reattempt to get back into 13,098, and we want to succeed and then keep climbing. We really don't want to have it hit this 13,098 and then fall back down to 12,069, because that will not be nice. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you... Oh, I can't touch the phone because it hits the mic. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned a lot. It was just a kind of little... this is a little bit of a technicals. In the Stock Room Master course, you're going to learn much more to how to do the fundamentals, how to analyze companies. This is just because students are asking me about the NASDAQ and the tech sector, and what we're going to keep tracking nearly daily and monitor the NASDAQ and tech sector, because this is an early warning sign for the economy, because the tech sector is so overly bought right now. If this would be the first area to correct, and it will come into this, the only companies that I don't really see that are overbought at the moment are really nearly every company. I was noticing this even before the tech correction. Nearly every company was overbought. The only ones that weren't really overbought were Google, Facebook, and see that Google an excellent buying opportunity right now. Facebook also, and Intel. I was buying a lot, and I am going to kind of make those heavier in my portfolio, because they're the only companies that on the tech sector that didn't get really hurt. They were like growing during this whole sell-off. Stochastic RSI also on Facebook heading up, volume coming in indicating buys. Same with Intel. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned a lot. To really understand everything you're seeing here, you need to take the Stock Room Master course. In the description, the pin comment, www.stockroom.us. And if you purchase before the 8th of March, I announced the winner on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on lives. I'm going to announce the winner of 1,000 USD. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you have a beautiful, relaxing weekend. I'm going to make technicals on Tesla, NIO, and I'm going to do an in-depth video on Caterpillar and just the construction kind of hedge against the tech sector. So it's Shane from Stock Room. Have a beautiful, relaxing day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.